Eden Zero is the new series that Hiro Mashima has put out. It's a very promising and up and coming series. And Hiro Mashima, if you're not familiar with him, he's the author of Fairy Tail, Rave Master. So he's pretty popular. He's already had a huge success. And right now, Eden Zero is looking pretty good. I've already caught up with Eden Zero. And in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about the recent chapter, the future of Eden Zero, and what's going on with Eden Zero at the moment. Now, Eden Zero already has a trailer out for the anime, so right off the bat, Eden Zero has a lot of expectations. There are a lot of fans of Fairy Tail who absolutely love Hiro Mashima's writing style, and there are a lot of people who absolutely hate Hiro Mashima's writing style. Now, whether you like him or whether you hate him, you cannot deny the fact that Hiro Mashima is a pretty good genius when it comes to anime and manga. He's one of the top. He has a different style of writing, and it's not for everyone. Of course, he relies on friendship, he relies on bonds, and he relies too much on that in writing his series. And of course, he's also criticized for a lot of fan service. So yeah, whether you like him or hate him, he is one of the top. So let's leave it at that. Now, Fairy Tail is a very good series. I've completed Fairy Tail, and it started out really good, really good. It has a lot of potential, but I have to admit that in the end, it was very disappointing. They concluded all of it. I think he was rushed into it. I don't know if he would, if he was forced into being rushed, or if he already thought of this as the ending, if this was his actual plan. So I'm not exactly sure how that goes. But Fairy Tail in the end was disappointing. All of that mysteries, all the different plots were all solved by the power of friendship again, and I can understand why a lot of people are upset and don't want to give Eden Zero a try. Now, if you are one of those people who are upset with Fairy Tail and don't want to give Eden Zero a try, I would honestly suggest that you try and give Eden Zero a good shot. Because so far, as of right now, Eden Zero has not disappointed me at all. There is very small things to be disappointed about. Of course, there are still, Hiro Mashima's writing style of using a little bit of friendship power. Yeah, that is kind of his writing style at this point, we gotta admit it. But there's so much more that Eden Zero offers, like, for example, the story, the progression, the adventure, the world building. It's really, really well done in Eden Zero. The art, of course, Hiro Mashima's art is one of the top-notch art of the entire anime and manga industry. He's one of the top artists, and his art for Eden Zero is absolutely beautiful. The world building, everything is really good. So I would suggest for people who haven't tried Eden Zero at all, give it a shot. Just try reading the first like 10-20 chapters and see if you can get with it, see if you can understand it, see if that's your thing. Because as of right now, the current chapter, things have really taken off, and I never expected Hiro Mashima to take this kind of a direction, because I will be spoiling certain things from here on out. So if you haven't read the chapter, if you haven't read the manga at all, I would suggest, and if you plan on reading it, by the way, I would suggest you avoid the spoilers that I'm about to give. But if you don't mind the spoilers, then yeah, sure, continue with the video. Now, the really interesting thing about Eden Zero at the moment is because we have a certain character who has mental issues. She has anxiety attacks at the moment, and we see the reason for that attack in the most recent chapter, why she's having that panic attack. And it's because of a certain doctor who kind of did experiments on the twins. She has a brother, and he did experiments on both of them, and then he made her watch he dismembered her brother. So it's really, really dark. It's extremely dark than I expected him to go. I never expected Hiro Mashima to go this dark. I'm not sure if he's going to take this anymore, because the chapter ends with the revelation that this doctor, dissected that guy in front of his sister, and that's the reason she's having this panic attack. So we have to wait for the next chapter, but this in itself is really dark, and he's taking this inspiration, of course, from Dr. Mangala, from our own history, the Nazi scientist Dr. Mangala, who was famous for experimenting on twins. So of course this is an inspiration from that, and I have no idea where he's going with this. So he has a lot of plots put in place. The characters so far in Eden Zero are really, really good, well written characters. For example, Whis. Whis is a very well written character so far. Laguna is pretty interesting right now. And of course, Jin and the other one, the sisters, the three androids, they're all having unique personalities. They're well written characters. And even if I think about the previous arcs that we had, the friendship power only comes into play in very few scenarios and probably just in the fight scenes. So I would still consider Eden Zero very, very, superior to Fairy Tail, at least as of now. It's more of an adventure series. So people who love One Piece and the thrill of adventure, moving from place to place, new worlds, exploring new islands, new planets, those kind of things are given in Eden Zero. This is what separates Eden Zero from Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was all about the guild, them wanting to make the guild the best. They had villains come one after another, and they basically solve their problems. But Eden Zero, they're on a mission to find a certain person, and they're on an adventure. Basically, it's very, very similar to One Piece, the style of adventure, and so far it's really good. So I really would suggest people who haven't given it a shot, just give it a try. And especially with the manga getting an anime adaptation right now, the trailer is already out. You can check out the trailer. Because the anime is coming out, you could be prepared for it. You could see how it goes. At least give the anime a try. The anime is supposed to come out in a couple of months, I think. Somehow this year it will come out. And you could give the anime a try and see where it goes. Now, I cannot vouch for the end of the series. So of course, if you are planning on having a really developed plot with seriousness and all that stuff, proceed with caution, because this is Hiro Mashima in the end of the day, and I have no idea how he's going to end it. But as of right now, the story is pretty good. Now, stepping aside from Eden Zero for just a second, Fairy Tail is also continuing right now. Uh, it's a kind of a weekly, no, I think it's a bi-weekly or even a monthly series at this point. And Fairy Tail, he keeps releasing chapters pretty often. um, I think it's called the 100-Year Quest. That's what's happening right now, and I've kept up with that series as well. And right now, the previous chapter that I've read was too much fan service, and it reminds me a lot of Hiro Mashima. So I have no recommendations for that yet. I mean, I'm sure it'll get good because there's some connections with Igniel and Natsu. So maybe in the future it will get good. But as of right now, we're going and dealing with the same old problems that we had with Fairy Tail. But it's interesting for people who already love Fairy Tail. If you love Fairy Tail, if you want to continue the adventure of Natsu, Lucy, Erza, Gray, if you want to continue their adventure, if you want more, then please go and read Fairy Tail 100-Year Quest. And I think there's already like 30 to 40 chapters already, probably even 50 chapters. It's really good. It gets really good from the start, and then in between there is some ups and downs. But so far it's really good. I don't know if they're going to make an anime adaptation for that. There seems to be no indication of that as of now. But if they do get an anime adaptation, I will recommend that, because Fairy Tail in the end of the day is pretty popular and it will succeed. So anyway, in this video I just wanted to talk about Eden Zero. It's getting really good reviews. A lot of people are getting into it. The anime is coming out, so I am expecting even more people to get into it. People will love it. Just give it a try. The recent chapter was really, really good, and I'm hoping to do some Eden Zero content in this channel if the chapters are like hype as it was in the last chapter. So I'll keep doing some videos. You can look forward to that. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in another one. Bye.